Here we are. All right. Notification received. All right. Well, it's about damn time my notifications are working, at least for somebody. Welcome, one and all, to the one, the only Junk Shop Library channel, home of Improv Bible Study, the Atheist Bible Study, where we read every every last word of the King James Version of 1611, because that's the one in the public domain, and then rip it a new asshole for being the outdated pile of crap that it is. If that sounds appealing to you, stick around and hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you're not a member of the library already. Before we dive into, tearing into the Word of God for the people of God, y'all know we got to thank the people of Junk Shop. Wasn't that smooth? Did you see what I did there? My fantabulous family of Patreon supporters, the folks whose names you see scrolling at the bottom of the screen and whose direction of scrolling I finally got right for possibly the very first time. These folks have chipped in, beginning at as little as $1 a month, to provide not only their moral support and their creative feedback, but their financial contributions as well. There have been a couple of times during the life of the channel and in the not too distant past where we would literally not have been able to keep doing what we love so much to do without their support. And for that, as well as for above said moral support and creative feedback, we thank them. We thank them all. In a special and particular, y'all know I got to shout out the members of my upper two tiers over on Patreon. My illuminated, whoops, here she comes. Here we go. My illuminated manuscript, Captain Kimothy, and my genuine calfskin level patrons, Bill, and the one and only first patron, Mr. Paul Camish. These folks, as I say, have gone above and far and away beyond in their support of the channel and have allowed us to do stuff we wouldn't be able otherwise to do. Thank y'all so very, very much. And to the anonymous donors out there who have donored anonymously and allowed us to upgrade the computer and do some other stuff, y'all know who you are. Y'all know what you did. Thank you very much. Y'all anonymous, but nevertheless glorious. My stars and liver, look at this chat light up. Hello, everybody. So good to see you. Good to see the king of the shills. I'm the one and only Amiga Nuts, hard at work, dropping the links of everybody in the community. If you happen to see a community member's links go by and you think, I don't think I know who that person is. If Amiga Nuts is dropping their links, they're good people, and you should subscribe. Take care, PJ. We'll see you again soon. All right. Now, we are entering an interesting time in the life of the library. Old Junk Shop done gone and got themselves a job which takes the office hours. Still watching? Okay, just leaving it. Yo, you said that. Leaving the chat. I can read. I pay attention. I know what's going on. A job which takes place during actual office hours, as a result of which this 3 p.m. in the afternoon slot, to which we have all become accustomed, is no longer going to be feasible, because given that I'm not employed in, ye olde atheist bookstore, I can't exactly take an hour out in the middle of the afternoon to do this Mayhem and Foolishness here at Mayhem and Foolishness Productions. Y'all, pardon me, I seem to have put on 2 layers of warming gear, which are of exactly the same tightness, and thus they are competing one with another for the same amount of space in the universe. And I'm subject to some sort of weird quantum experiment. So if I vanish out of existence, now y'all know why. Anyway, we're hopefully the snow and ice will have abated somewhat, and we'll be back in the office this coming up Monday. And so we're going to have to play and experiment and noodle around with the schedule for improv Bible study. But we're not going anywhere. We're just gonna go other when. And one thing that will not affect is the scheduling of Book of Mormon study, which happens next episode, still in 2nd Nephi, sorry to say, but next episode will happen tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always have a good time there. I hope you'll be able to join us. All right, well, that's oh, it also won't affect the catechism stream for patrons. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Noon o'clock in the noon on Sundays. We'll see some of y'all there. All right. Y'all ready for a little bit of Holy Writ and a little bit of blasphemy to go along there with the book of the prophet Ezekiel? I know exactly 2 things, know and or remember. So close and yet so far away. God damn it. See, this is why I normally try to avoid prop humor. It tends to backfire. Y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see that. Nothing to see here. Move along. Move along. I remember all of exactly 2 things about the book of the prophet Ezekiel, and that is the story that became the song Ezekiel Saw the Wheel, and the story that we all know about the Valley of Dry Bones, the vision of the Valley of Dry Bones. But Ezekiel is, as a matter of fact, great bouncing icebergs. 48 chapters long. And not even King James is going to be able to stretch those 2 things out to the length of 48 chapters. So who fucking knows what else craziness is buried here in the book of the prophet. But we about to find out, are we not? We'll find out together. It's just coffee. Chapter 1. Now, it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. Well, they say hook 'em with the first sentence, don't they? Shit. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chebar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. And also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings, and their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side. They 4 also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whither the Spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings, straight, the one toward the other. Every one had 2, which covered on this side, and every one had 2, which covered on that side their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward. and from the appearance of his loins even downward, I saw, as it were, the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. And that's the end of the first chapter of the book of the whacked out prophet Ezekiel. How about damn apples? Okay. What in the name of all that's fucking hallucinogenic did I just read? Ezekiel need to take his medication on a little more regular of a schedule is what Ezekiel need to do. Okay. Starting to realize why and the truth of it that somebody not all that long ago I saw online say that if you Geo Sam, how's it going, man? That there's a reason why angels are never depicted in art or in film the way they're described in the Bible. It sure would make art history class more interesting, though, wouldn't it? Imagine if this is what an angel is actually like. Imagine if instead of just some androgynous looking ass bitch with wings in a robe, every time you see a picture of an angel appearing to somebody, it's this mess with 4 faces on its head and a firmament above the head and 4 wings that were joined together like dragonfly wings, and yet somehow managing to cover its body with those wings while still flying. And then it not having any spirit, any breath, any life, any soul in and of itself, but the spirit and the soul of itself is in a thing underneath it that's like a wheel inside a wheel, except that it has 4 sides and it's beryl color. That's B-E-R-Y-L, and we're about to, thanks to the Lone Wanderer, about to find out what color beryl is. Bemoan, beseech, besiege, bestow. Beryl, noun, a mineral. Okay, mineral colored. 4-sided wheels within wheels that go up and down and up and down and back and forth and back and forth and up and down and always in a straight line forward and never turn. Nerdy Rodent says beryl is green or blue or yellow or pink or black, mostly. Awesome. Thanks, Nerdy, for the clarification. Good to have you here, my friend. I know somebody asked, was any of that supposed to make any sense? I don't know. I mean, I could envision it though. Couldn't you? It was very strikingly descripted. It did. Julie says it sounds like a Magic the Gathering deck, but only if you take away the pink. Ooh, pink. I want to play a pink deck. Can you imagine what kind of weird ass creatures? It'd be like that level in the Ocarina of Time that's inside the body of the what was the whale's name? Jabu Jabu, where half the enemies were actually just extensions of the inside of the creature. It'd all be like slimy and gross and pretty colors though. Thank you, Mike Raptor. I'm fond of it myself, not least because of which it is warm. It's just coffee. Hey, if you want an actual coffee mug that literally says it's just coffee on the side, the link to my Teespring is in the description. Just saying, it's there. Okay, yeah, Jenny, maybe we're not righteous enough to understand. All right, I'm gonna try me a experiment. And y'all are gonna bear with me. Or maybe you're gonna run away and leave. I don't know. But I would hope that you would bear with me while I try my experiment. What I'm gonna do, and I'm turning now to the International Children's Bible, perfect for kids 7 through 12 and endorsed by Dr. James Dobson's Focus on the Family magazine. I'm going to read just a little bit of this. Pardon me. In a slightly different way. Their faces look like this. In front, each living creature had the face of a man. Each one had the face of a lion on the right side. Each one, you get the idea. Yeah, just focuses on one kind of family. You are not wrong. I wonder if that's what it meant when it talks about how their feet were straight. I have no idea. Don't look at me. This is some. I thought we had encountered some batshittery before in this fucking book, but holy hell, y'all! Yeah. Z, what drugs did you take? That's a variance of that question. Has been words are my life. Variants of that question have been very popular in the chat so far today. I mean, what the fuck did we just read? I mean, this person is obviously, whoever wrote this is obviously either writing fiction. And that is the scholarly consensus, okay? That Ezekiel, along with parts of Daniel and all of Revelation and a couple of other smatterings here or there are what's referred to as apocalyptic literature. Writings that are in no fucking way intended to be taken literally. But the reason I started this fucking channel Okay? Way back over 2 years ago with a chapter inventively titled In the Beginning, 3 or 4 set designs ago. Many, many me designs ago. Some of y'all been around with me long enough to know what I'm talking about there. The reason I started this channel is because I've had it with the people who take it literal and straight from cover to cover, one verse at a time, and proclaim it to be truth and proclaim it as a book to live by and a source of morality. And I'd had enough of hearing this shit. And I said, fuck it. Fuck it, said I. We're going to have a little talk about this verse by verse, taking it literal shit. And so I cracked open. Don't avalanche. Cracked open this poor, long-suffering thing when it was still shrink wrap. And I started with In the Beginning, God created. In principio creavit Deus caelum et terram. Now, as if Leviticus wasn't bad enough and wasn't ample enough evidence that this is not a book that should be taken literal and as a guide for morality in life, now we got fucking Ezekiel with one-headed but four-faced flying straight-footed monster critters on fire with their souls in wheels within wheels that may be pink or black or red or whatever, green, whatever the other colors was Nerdy was able to drum up for us. And above them, a throne, or the likeness of a throne, upon which the likeness of a man, all on fire, except for his loins. That's good, because if your loins are burning, you need to go see a professional. And yeah, it's you notice it said from his loins up. I don't know why I'm gesturing at my loins as though you could see them, or as though I would stage a shot in such a way as that you could. But from his loins and up, on fire, and from his loins on down, fire, but no fire on his loins. So presumably this likeness of a man had clearly visible loins. We've had a lot of loins here on the channel recently. We've had as many loins as goldfish, I swear to God. Yeah, Brainbug, you were late. You missed wheels within wheels. That's all right. I was about to make a disparaging remark about your Monsters of the Bible series, but I like it too much to shit on it. If you ain't watching or haven't watched our dear friend Brainbug's Monsters of the Bible series, you don't know what you're missing out on. There's all kind of batshittery on over there. And Brainbug was the one who made that when you try to say marvelous and fantabulous at the same time and absolute garbage comes out. Fantabulous intro that those of you who were here on time got to see. Okay, so what do we do with this? What are we to do with the first chapter of Ezekiel? Okay, well, we know it takes place during the Babylonian exile, or the Babylonian and Chaldean exile, because the Ezekiel and particularly the people he's talking to are exiled in the land of the Chaldeans. The heavens opened, and Ezekiel, the son of Buzi, B-U-Z-I, I just report them, I don't make them up. Ezekiel, son of Buzi, sees all of this batshittery. And it takes him so long to describe it that he runs out of space on scroll number 1. Yeah, like she said, Microraptor said, it takes place during the great drug binge of Chaldea, on the 5th day of the 5th year of the reign of the 5th king during the 5th age of the earth. No. All right, y'all ready for chapter 2? See what in heaven's name happens next? Where did I put... Did any of y'all see where I put my fucking glasses? They've been burned away by the fire of the loins of the likeness of him who sat upon the throne. There is a pair, that will suffice. Reminds me of Weave World. Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of apocalyptic literature, some of the batshitterier weirdness of our dear friend Mr. Barker. It's very similar and analogous. Right there, the last place I looked. Exactly, Ox. Oh, Julie, I don't know if you want wine with this shit. This is bonkers enough. Okay, well, on the plus side, chapter 2 is short. Okay, so chapter 1 ends. I fell upon my face, and I heard the voice of one that spake. Chapter 2. And he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit entered into me. Weird fucking book. Verse 2. And the Spirit entered into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that hath rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children, and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God. And they, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there hath been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions. Be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. And thou shalt speak my words unto them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth, and eat that I give thee. And when I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. And there we have chapter 2. Ezekiel done fall down. And him that sitteth upon the throne, who was full of, or well, somebody did. It doesn't specifically say, in all fairness, it doesn't specifically say that him who sitteth upon the throne, or the likeness of a man that sitteth upon the throne, spake. It could have been one of the winged creatures. It could have been the fucking wheels within wheels. We don't fucking know. He heard a voice, and the voice said, stand your ass up. And he couldn't do it on his own. So a spirit entered into him and stood his ass up. And this voice said, you are a prophet now. Go do prophety things among Israel, whether they listen to your ass or not. Do it. Oh, and by the way, open wide. I've got something I want you to eat. And so Ezekiel does what any of us would do if we heard a phantom voice in the midst of a cataclysm of hallucinations that told us to open up. Opens his mouth and looks around, and sure enough, there's a book. And the voice says, read the book, and it's full of, like, bad shit and crazy. And that's the end of the chapter. Eat the book. Chapter 3. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest. Eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then I did eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel. Not to many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant, harder than flint, have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all thy words that I shall speak unto thee receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. And go, get thee to them of the captivity, unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith the Lord God, whether they will hear, or whether they will forbear. Then the Spirit took me up, and I heard behind me a voice of a great rushing, saying, Blessed be the glory of the Lord from his place. I heard also the noise of the wings of the living creatures that touched one another, and the noise of the wheels over against them, and the noise of a great rushing. So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away, and I went in bitterness in the heat of my spirit. But the hand of the Lord was strong upon me. Then I came to them of the captivity at Tel Abib, that dwelt by the river of Chebar. And I sat where they sat, and remained there, astonished among them 7 days. And it came to pass, at the end of 7 days, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, Thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet, if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die. Because thou hast not given him warning, he shall die in his sin. And his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. And the hand of the Lord was there upon me, and he said unto me, Arise, go forth into the plain, and I will there talk with thee. Then I arose and went forth into the plain, and behold, the glory of the Lord stood there, as the glory which I saw by the river of Chebar, and I fell on my face. And the Spirit entered into me, and set me upon my feet, and spake with me, and said unto me, Go, shut thyself within thine house. But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, He that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. And there we have chapter 3. I beg your pardon. And God voice is a little hard on the throat. I may not keep on doing that long. Okay, so having taken him thither to show him the four-faced flying-ass creatures with their spirit wheels, and the Spirit picks him up, gives him a mission. After he's been given the mission to go speak to the rebellious people of Israel, whether they listen to him or not, and zooms him back to where the people live by the river Chebar in the land of the Chaldeans, and set him down on the bank of the river Chebar, and he sits there astonished for a week. It's a hell of a hangover, y'all. All right. So, after a week has passed, sorry for all the weird moving around and the squeaking that goes with it, y'all. I cannot get comfortable, and I don't know why. After a week has passed, The voice comes to him again. He falls over again. The Spirit enters into him again and picks him back up. Says, all right, go for a walk and I'll talk to you down yonder way. So he goes for a walk. And the exact same shit that he saw back yonder way appears to him again. And the voice comes to him again. And the voice says, hey, buddy, ain't I done made you a prophet? Did I show you the crazy-ass wing things and the wheels within wheels and reveal my divine loins to you and tell you to go sit on your ass for a fucking week? No! No, me, damn it. I told you to go prophesy to Israel, whether they would listen to you or not. You ain't done shit for a week. So I'm going to tell you again. They're rebellious people. They're not going to listen to you. But you're supposed to go prophesy to them. So here, what I want you to do, you listening? You listening good? All right, ZZ, good. Good boy. Open your ears and listen. I want you to go home and close the door. And you remember how I told you that I wanted you to go prophesy to my people Israel and tell them they had been naughty, 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 and they might or might not listen? But you were to speak to them anyway? Well, here's the thing. I've changed my divine mind. I'm going to make you mute. Except when you're talking with me. All right, off you go to your home now. The fuck are we reading? Somebody just asked that in the chat. Except without the profanity. Oh my God, this makes no damn sense. This makes the most no damn sense of any no damn sense we've read out of this fucking book. And we've been at this for 2 years. We've totally fucking destroyed one copy. We're on our second Bible. And the other one was destroyed before I started tearing pages out of it last time, or a few times before. I mean, yeah, serious. Yeah, those of y'all who don't know, who ain't been around too long, seriously, this, my initial poor, long-suffering dollar store Bible, it finally gave up the ghost. Lone Wanderer was kind enough to buy us a replacement with much better spine, I do say so. Okay. Some of y'all been with me long enough to remember Yahweh's flying lamp days. I'm going to condense real quick. I'm going to throw the Reader's Digest version at you. The word of the Lord came to Abram way back in the book. We're going back to season 1, y'all. The word of the Lord came to Abram and said, I want you to chop up a bunch of critters and spread the body parts around in the desert. And then I want you to stand over the body parts and keep the flies and the vultures and the jackals and shit away from them all damn day. So Abram does exactly what he's told. Having heard a voice that told him to dismember some of his farm animals and spread the body parts around in the desert and then stand over them, shooing the flies and the vultures and the jackals away all the time, he does it. And not having received any instructions as to what to do after the sun goes down, he falls asleep. And then something wakes him up, and there's a lamp floating, and it starts talking to him. And it tells him to go on a journey. And also tells him he's going to go by a new name. So he falls back asleep. And then he wakes up the next morning and he decides to do exactly what his nocturnal visitation told him to do whilst he slept in the desert surrounded by dismembered members of his herd. So anyway, that was some batshit weirdness. But that was way back in Genesis. That wasn't even its final form. Now, we've got the visions of prophet Ezekiel, who is either smoking much stronger stuff or has a much more vivid imagination. And then, having showed him all this bonkers shit, and ordered him to prophesy to the people, tells him to go home, lock himself in his house, and by the way, tells him he's going to be mute except when he's talking with his visions. Doesn't instruct him to remain mute, save when he is speaking with his visions. Tells him he's going to be mute and immobile, save when he's speaking with his visions. Go, prophesy to my people Israel, but don't say nothing. Go back to Israel, walk around amongst them, but don't move. Preach the word of the me to this rebellious house, but don't leave your room. But remember, God is not the author of confusion. Couldn't prove it by me and couldn't prove it by fucking Ezekiel. But he that has ears, let him hear the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be unto God. Yeah, like Harmonica Man says, go swimming, but don't get your ass wet. Junie asks, why are there apologetics for this? Because it makes no fucking goddamn sense without them. That's all the Ezekiel I can stand for one day, and it's probably a good thing because we're coming up on the top of the hour. I want to thank everybody for being here with me today, for sticking here with me through this bonkers ass shit we done read today. Where was I? There was someplace I was going to ask y'all to meet me later. Oh, Unholy Shade has a video premiere coming up in either 1 hour or 2 or possibly 3. I'm not entirely sure because time zones. But if somebody will be so kind, I got Amiga Nuts here. So it's probably already taken care of by the time I see it come through on the StreamYard's end. I have seen it already because I am a patron of theirs, and patrons get early access. Plug for my friend there. But yeah, if y'all are available at the time the video premieres, I'd love to see y'all over in Shade's chat there for the new video, because they've really done phenomenal work on this new one. It's going to make you make sure you bring your facepalm protection, because it's going to make you bang your head against the wall. But hope to see you there. All right. Well, I don't hardly know what to say after having just choked down 3 scrolls worth of crazy like that. But, I mean, eating books. I don't fucking know. Part of me just wants to fuck off and go watch Alien again. I've got this vision of eating the... You will eat the magazine. All right. Well, we'll see y'all. Hopefully, we'll see y'all tomorrow for the Book of Mormon study. 2nd Nephi beckons. Normally, I would say it's even crazier than the Bible, but we're in fucking Ezekiel now, so I can't use that line anymore, because there ain't nothing more batshit than Ezekiel. All right. Well, as we all... Zoom! As we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care. Everybody be safe. Boil your water if you're under that directive. A lot of us around the country are right now. Wear your masks if you have to go out. But stay off the road if you can avoid it, y'all. It's nasty out there, and it's only going to get worse once the sun goes down. Brainbug, thank you for the intro, outro. I love them. And everybody, stand against hate. See y'all again soon.